This is News 8 Now at noon.
Good afternoon and thank you for watching News 8 Now. I'm Sophia Pullman. Former President Donald Trump has taken off from Florida on his way to New York to face criminal charges. He was indicted last week on charges related to a hush money scheme. Naomi Rutschman is outside the courthouse in Manhattan, where nearly the entire New York City Police Department is on alert for his return.
Former President Donald Trump is expected to arrive in New York this afternoon ahead of his arraignment Tuesday. A Manhattan grand jury voted last week to indict him, making him the first former president in history to face criminal charges.
He will be brought into the courtroom. The indictment will be unsealed, and for the first time, the defendant, Donald J. Trump, and his attorneys and the rest of us will learn what the charges are.
The indictment is still under seal, but a source familiar with the case tells CBS News that Trump will likely be charged with falsifying business records in the first degree, a felony stemming from his alleged role in hush money paid to adult film star Stormy Daniels back in 2016. The former president maintains he did nothing wrong.
We will very loudly and proudly say not guilty.
For weeks, Trump has criticized Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, and on Friday, he went after the judge assigned to the case, writing on social media, "Judge Juan Merchan hates me." With the former president calling for protests, security is extra tight here at the courthouse to prevent anything close to the January 6th Capitol riot from happening again.
You're not storming the courthouses. That's not going to happen. I'm sure our executives have reviewed January 6th and what went wrong. So they're anticipating any kind of issues like that.
Sources tell CBS New York that 35,000 NYPD officers are on standby for the arraignment. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
In a statement, an NYPD spokesperson said there are no current credible threats to New York City. Wisconsin's spring election is coming up tomorrow. As you prepare to head to the polls, here are some things to remember. La Crosse County voters will vote for school board and common council candidates. They will also vote for an advisory referendum regarding the state's 1849 abortion law and for La Crosse's school board referendum. Everyone in the state will vote on the Wisconsin Supreme Court race, plus 3 state referendum questions.
Do your research on the referendum questions ahead of time. They're long questions, so there's going to be a lot of reading at the polls. We feel that's probably what's going to back up the polls, if anything does, is just the time it's going to take voters to get through all the referendum questions.
If you are registered to vote, just bring an acceptable ID like your passport, driver's license, or student ID. In Wisconsin, you can register at your polling place. If you still need to register, you need to bring proof of a residence, a photo ID, and your driver's license number if you have it. If you'd like to see what's on your ballot, you can check myvote.wisconsin.gov. The Winona Police Department is asking for the public's help to find a missing woman. Winona police said that Madeline Jane Kinsbury has not been seen since March 31st. Kinsbury is 26. She's 26, is 5 feet 4 inches tall, and weighs 135 pounds. She has curly, shoulder-length brown hair and hazel eyes. Anyone with information should contact Winona Police. If you would like to stay anonymous, you can also contact Winona Area Crime Stoppers. Both phone numbers are on your screen.
Remember yesterday and how gorgeous it was? We had temperatures in the 50s and 60s. We're going to turn down that temperature just a little bit today. We're going to see temperatures right around normal. Our average high for this time of year is 54 degrees, and that's my forecast high. Look at yesterday. We made it to 65 in La Crosse, 63 Winona, 62 Preston, some 64s from Decorah over towards Prairie du Chien, and then over towards Boscobel. Black River Falls, you were at 59. Eau Claire, you made it to 57, and right now Eau Claire's sitting at 44. We're 51 in La Crosse, the Double Nickel, 55 in Boscobel, as well as Volkfield, as well as the Dells. When we take a look here at that temperature change over the past 24 hours, Black River Falls and Viroqua, 10 degrees warmer and 11 degrees warmer respectively, 8 degrees warmer in Boscobel. You go over towards the Red Wing area, 2 degrees cooler, and that's going to be a sign of things to come as we go into the week. Some places as we go into Thursday, may see highs in the upper 30s to low 40s. Now the radar scan right now is showing a little bit of splash and dash precipitation across our southern zone, so we'll keep an eye on that as we go into the next several hours. But Sophia, coming up in the first warn forecast, we're going to talk about tomorrow. Storm Prediction Center has parts of our southern zones under a slight risk for severe weather or a level 2 out of 5. And we'll break everything down with that coming up in just a few minutes. Over to you.
Starting today, parking downtown in the city of La Crosse could cost you. Weekday parking on Pine Street, Main Street, La Crosse Center, and Market Square ramps will cost $1 an hour from 6 in the morning until 6 in the evening. That cost is capped at $8 a day. Parking in the ramps will still be free overnight and on weekends. Also today, La Crosse area kids can get the chance to learn how to fly. The La Crosse Composite Squadron will hold 2 informational nights for kids and their parents who would like to learn about the Civil Air Patrol program. The first meeting will run tonight from 7:30 until 8:30 in the evening at the CAP building on Fonta Reed Road. Another event will be held on April 10th. We have more information on news8000.com. Beginning tomorrow, MTU bus stops from East Ave and La Crosse Street to Pine Street and Campbell Road will be closed. Both Route 4 buses will use La Crosse Street to 22nd Street and 22nd Street to Campbell Road. Temporary bus stops will be set up at the corners of East Ave and La Crosse Street and La Crosse Street and Hillview Ave. MTU will also be offering free rides on Election Day. More dangerous storms are forecast for a wide swath of the South and Midwest. Large areas of both regions are already in ruins from a violent system that fueled tornadoes in at least 8 states over the weekend, causing multiple deaths. And closer to home, after a blizzard hit Minnesota over the weekend, it may take a little more time than expected for this snow to melt as the state moved up in the record books on Sunday. The coat of snow on April 1st put the state in the top 10 snowiest winters on record, and in the Twin Cities, 70,000 lost power at one point. The thick snow made it a little harder to clear.
It's not normal. I mean, winter is definitely getting worse every year, but I mean, what are you going to do?
Some were unbothered in another Minnesota winter, while others realized after this April Fool's snowstorm, the joke was on them. Coming up on News 8 at noon, spring is here, and that means it's time for a refresh. We'll have advice on how you can clean out your old technology responsibly. So many of us have a drawer full of old technology, from cell phones to tablets to headphones and more. If tidying it up is part of your spring cleaning list, there are some new ways you can get rid of your old tech responsibly and maybe even get some cash for it. Bradley Blackburn has more.
You just kind of let it sit there because you don't have time. I'll get to it later. I'll get to it later.
CNET senior editor Bridget Carey has more gadgets than most.
We're turning, and my guy is turning.
It's her job to cover them. Still, she's not the only one drowning in a sea of dusty devices.
We found in surveys that 3 out of 4 people have just old tech lying around, not just old phones, but tablets, old kids' tech. You just don't know what to do with it.
But there are plenty of ways to clear the mess, and technology is part of the solution. Carey recommends websites like Declutter, It's Worth More, and Buyback World, which will pay for old devices and cover shipping.
They will buy back things like headphones, and so they're going to pay me $25 for this if I turn these in if I want something new. Same with these over-the-ear headphones. These go for about $40 online right now.
Even the oldest gadgets can earn money on eBay, and if you don't want to go online, you can take your tech to stores like Best Buy. They'll offer a gift card for certain products.
The longer this stuff sits in your drawer, the less valuable it becomes.
Right. You can get a little bit more when the tech is a little newer and when the tech is a little more of a hot product.
Some companies and many cities have e-waste programs and will recycle old gadgets, chargers, and cables. Carey says the lithium batteries inside today's electronics can be harmful to the environment if tossed in a landfill.
They have to be handled differently than just everyday trash. We all want to be a little more responsible.
That can lead to a cleaner home and planet, and maybe a fuller wallet. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Carey says before you resell or recycle your devices, be sure to perform a full factory reset to wipe off any personal data that you don't want in the wrong hands. As we head to break, here's a live look at the New York Stock Exchange. Stay with us. More news is next. Before you reach for the wine bottle, the latest news about drinking suggests even low levels of alcohol could be harmful. Michael George has some of the day's biggest health stories.
New evidence shows moderate drinking is not good for your health. A sweeping analysis of millions of health records punches a hole in the theory that a daily dose of alcohol protects against death from heart disease. The study finds drinking even low amounts of alcohol, 1 ounce a day for women or 1.5 ounces for men, increases the risk of early death. Researchers are investigating a new approach to preventing a common cause of vision loss in older adults. A study from the National Eye Institute identified rare genetic variants that could be linked to age-related macular degeneration. The discovery could lead to new ways of targeting and treating vision loss. And a study in the journal Pediatrics points to some of the factors contributing to children's mental health. Researchers found infants living with socioeconomic disadvantages were nearly twice as likely to experience mental health symptoms by the age of 10 or 11. Disadvantaged children were also more likely to have a parent in psychological distress and less likely to attend preschool. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Here is a look at CityCam 8. Eric is in next with our forecast.
All right, here's a live look at CityCam. You can see right now we have a mixture of sun and clouds out there at this hour. Temperatures across the area right now in the upper 40s to low 50s. We're seeing that temperature of 51 degrees out there. Feels like 51. Our dew point is at 29. Our wind is very light at 3 miles per hour. Look at the Mississippi River, 7.76 feet. And I want to draw your attention to this number. I need to turn this water on really quick. There we go. Make sure I'm not flying blind there. 7.76 feet. Now, the reason why that number is important is because this is going to be going up substantially as we go to the 5th. It's projected to go to 9.2 feet. We'll hit the action stage on the 7th at 9.8 feet and then over 10 feet by April 10th. So we are seeing more rain in the forecast. So that number is going to be very critical as we go into the next several days. Now, in Eau Claire, you're at 44 degrees. You have sunny skies. It feels like 39 out there. Winds are out of the west at 9 miles per hour. So here's the Dean's List for today. A near normal Monday. Our average high for this time of year, 54 degrees. That's my forecast for today. Thunderstorm chances, they're going to return on Tuesday, and then the 60s will make a comeback as we go into Easter weekend. There's a little bit of a caveat to that forecast. We'll talk about that with the 8th day coming up in just a couple seconds. So here's a look at the radar scan right now, and I want to zoom in across portions of the southern zones over towards portions of Winneshiek, Allamakee, Crawford, and Richland County, because you're noticing what looks like a little bit of rain, some heavy rain over towards portions of Highway 61 just south of Prairie du Chien. Other than that, we're seeing partly to mostly cloudy skies across the Coulee region, and that rain chance will continue as we go into the evening and overnight hours. So here's a look at the setup. So earlier this morning when you joined me, we were talking about a whole copious amount of rain that looked like it was being picked up on the radar. A lot of that was not hitting the ground. Now it's starting to finally hit the ground. This is our weather maker as we go into tomorrow. It's this low pressure system right here. It's going to do a couple things before it makes its way into the Coulee region. First of all, it's going to push some snow across portions of the Intermountain West. Matter of fact, the majority of Wyoming, from the Wind River Mountain Range to the Green River and Rattlesnakes to the Snowy Sierra Madre Range, the Bighorns, even the Wyoming Black Hills is under either a winter weather advisory or a blizzard warning. So it's going to push its way there first, and then after it pushes its way into the Intermountain West, then it's going to start pushing its way into our area. And then we'll get on the back end of that low pressure system, which will drop those temperatures with highs in the 30s and 40s for your Thursday. So here's how everything plays out on a localized version. And you can see right here by 6 a.m. we'll see temperatures in the 30s and 40s. By noon, the rain chances start to pick up, not ruling out a wintry mix over towards the Ladysmith area. And then you can see right here as we go into the afternoon and evening hours, maybe a stray shower, which will go into Wednesday. Now, with that being said, for today, we go to 54 degrees, partly cloudy skies, near normal temperatures with winds out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. As we help you plan your evening, we'll see temperatures in the upper 40s by 8 p.m. By 11 o'clock, we'll go to 43 degrees with mostly cloudy skies in the balance of the next 8 days. We go to 52 on Tuesday, the double nickels, 55 on Wednesday. As we go into Easter weekend, we go to 52 on Friday, 60s as we go into Saturday and Sunday. But Sophia, right now, all eyes are on tomorrow. Storm Prediction Center for our southern zones has a level 2 or a slight risk for severe weather out. And that's something that we'll have to keep an eye on. Bill's going to talk more about that tonight at 5, 6, and 10.
That's good weather to read a book.
Oh, definitely.
I'll just sit home. And thanks, Eric.
You bet.
Coming up on News 8 at noon, Louisiana State University's Tiger made history in the NCAA Women's College Championship. A look at their victory coming up after the break. History has been made. LSU Tigers defeated the Iowa Hawkeyes 102-85 Sunday to win the program's first NCAA Women's Basketball National Championship in Dallas. The Tigers beat the best offense in the country at their own game and put up the most points ever in a championship game. LSU Jasmine Carson led scoring with 22 points, including 7 of 8 shooting from the arc. With a 15-point, 10-rebound performance, Angel Reese notched the most double-doubles in a single season. Hawkeyes' Caitlin Clark scored a game-high 30 points, setting a new record for points scored in a single NCAA tournament. A sellout crowd of 19,482 was in attendance to cap off a record of 350,000 throughout March Madness. LSU head coach Kim Mulkey takes her 4th title as a coach, becoming the first woman to coach multiple programs to a national championship. I might be a bit biased here, but that's a Go Tigers from me. Stay with us. We'll have one more check of your forecast when we return.